Good morning. Welcome back to Alma, Missouri. Beautiful December morning. Snow is lightly falling. Mr. Romeo has some food. And what do we got going on today? Let's take a look at the contract situation. So we got 3 cultivating contracts. Nothing too spectacular. Yesterday we did hook the old John Deere up to the plow and we got a plowing contract done. We got our horses rode yesterday or last month. We'll ride them again this month as normal. And let's check on the cattle. We've got, I suppose if we get over to a different location here, well, we got 8,600 liters of milk. We're about half full on our TMR, which means, yep, we can go ahead and get this emptied out. The straw is continuing to stay topped up. We filled this up yesterday, so there's 2 bales out of it, looks like. So yeah, these next couple of months, December, January, and February, are just going to be let's get through the system. I did come over really quickly this morning. We got pulled over 3 pallets of wool. We only got 1,000 liters of goat milk. That's going to be the issue, I think, going forward here. Let's just see what we got here. We got, we're full in the barn. We got 10, 20, 30, 40, 9 of those lambs, 50 of those. So we got 149, or 99, excuse me. And then 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80 of goats. So yeah, we're about 50-50, but the lambs seem to be producing more wool than I currently like. So, that poses the question, what are we going to do? I wanted goat milk for the dairy, and yeah, we are getting it, but at a much, much slower rate than if we had a pen dedicated just to the goats. Like I said, we got our horses over here. Let's take a look at these guys real quick. Let's just go to the animal trigger here. The current conditions: health 100, fitness 100, cleanliness 90. And they're just walking around doing their own thing. Yeah, they're all really good. But is it time we get rid of the goats or the horses? They're slowly eating on the hay. Let's go ahead and pull. I want to see what each one is. 48.54 and 69.74. And I think these are 872.50 liter bells. So they are eating them. But that lies the problem. I love horses, don't get me wrong. It's just one of those situations where they're more of a novelty in this game than they are productive. We sit there and ride them monthly, and we don't really get anything out of it. So I don't know. I think it might be time that we finally get rid of the horses. Find a good home for them. But yeah, let's go ahead and let's finish off filling up the cow barn and go from there. Well, we got the that emptied out. Time to make up some new stuff in our what am I trying to say here? Our bales of silage. There we go. Let's get back into our standard view. What we did in, what was it, July? They finally got finished fermenting up. So we are finally good on the bales of silage. Our bales of hay, I was able to get 26 more out of the surrounding fields of field 14 that we purchased. Field 13 we did the surrounding, field 12, and then land 38. I'm currently working with a contractor, and we are going to see if we can use this section of land here to build a new project. We've got the land, we've got the money. We just need to do some dirt work, get everything built up, leveled out, things like that, and get that squared away. A new project that'll help bring in some additional income for us. Also, I mean, just looking at what we got here, we got some barley of 132,000 liters, some corn, 250,000, some oats for the horses, some sorghum for the chickens, soybeans, sunflowers, you know, that was residual from doing a contract, and then some wheat. I'd like to do something with the soybeans. And I want to do something with the corn as well. The corn situation, we got this ample area right over here. Maybe right here too. We'll figure out where we're going to put this. In fact, let's go ahead and do it right now, since we don't have much of anything at the moment. Bear with me as I do some digging in the catalogs, and we'll see what we can find here in just a minute. Alright, so as I finally found it in the catalog system here, we get this nice grain dryer with auger system. So as you can see, we can put stuff in there, and we could actually, you know, put it, we'll figure out a good spot to put it. Overlaps, I mean, we're not going to tuck it in. We do need proper ventilation. I think something like that. It's kind of nestled out of the way. It's in an area that the grain bins are not going to be able to use. Yeah, any closer to that, it overlaps. This is nice flat ground over here, and I think just having it right at the curve, we just start the curve a little bit earlier. Then we can get in there. See, that's what it looks like up close. We got a nice auger to dump out of. We got the pit to drop it into, which has got, it's an elevator conveyor system. So yeah, I think this will work just fine for what we got to do. I do believe we need to make sure that this gets filled with like diesel or propane or something. Propane and propane accessories. So yeah, I think something like right there ought to work just fine. Okay, now we'll go over to our painting, and this is what I don't like is we're not doing concrete blocks, concrete pebbles, shattered, dirt, gravel. I have not been able to find a good viable texture for this. This is like a pure dirt road. And let's, I mean, we're going to have to work on this right here anyway. See, that's the dirt gravel. It's brown in color. We need something that's got that yellow or very light tan tint to it. I think it's this one here. Let's change the size on it. Yeah, there we go. That's the one we want. So we'll just drag it up. Yeah, that matches up really nice right there. And we just kind of bring it in a little bit. And the same for up in here. We'll just extend this out as far as we can get it. Yeah, we got some bad ground right there. That's all right. It's all right. It'll work. So yeah, we got ourselves a corn dryer here. We can definitely do some stuff with that. Something I've been wanting to put down for a while. Yeah, like I said, we just come in a little bit different of an angle, and then we can drive into the elevator to do things. Come out from the elevator, drive over. Yep, I think that'll work out just fine. We got our feed mixing station right there, which we need to utilize more. I keep talking to myself about getting a bigger mixing wagon. I don't know if we need a mixing wagon since we got this. We may go with the end dump Flegel or Bachman or something. Strongman. I don't know. Whatever it is, I think we'll go with a different style of because we're not mixing anything. We just need to offload it. This is our big mixer from now on. It's over here by all of our silage and grass and hay and straw and all that stuff. So yeah, but I think we're gonna be good with that. And over here, future plans. I'm still trying to figure out why we have two lines. Where do they go to? I have never followed these lines. I'm curious as to what the deal is with them. Okay, so it looks like they stopped right there. Okay, I think I know what happened. They even extend all the way. Maybe I don't know what happened. Because it stops at a plowed field, and it's... Oh, that's... Ooh. Yep, I know what the deal is. Okay. I'll leave the mystery to you guys. I've already solved it. Because, like I said, you follow these tracks right here. They came out, did this number, stopped right there, and then whoop. I already know what the deal is. Leave in the comments if you figured out what the heck's going on. But anyway, let's take a look at our new dryer here. I have yet to use one of these. And like I said, we got this pit down here that there's these the vertical tubes empty out into the top of the pit. Grain goes down in there, gets dried, and then we got this auger right here at the bottom that'll come into here and then auger up. So yes. Yeah, and those are auger tubes going straight up if I remember right. And then they get dropped into a central shaft. Okay, let's check this out. Okay, so we got our grain dryer. We can put our corn in. So this uses electricity from the farm, it looks like. So we are going to have cost per month $720, cycles per month 1,000, and we can dry 135,000 a month. 135,000 a month for the corn. The same for the barley. I know the corn. We can do something with the corn. If we go to the popcorn production, it takes 4 dried corn, 1 butter to make 3 buttered popcorn. 4 dried corn to 2 popcorn. And we can get 4 pallets a month, it looks like. Or if they're 1,000 liter pallets, they could be 2,000 liter pallets. I'm not sure. And this one is going to be a little bit more because we get 3 buttered popcorn. So we'll get 7,200 per month doing the buttered popcorn. And we got the butter. We definitely have the butter. Our dairy over here, we got, in storage, we got 11,000 liters. Our goat milk, we have 2,500 liters. Which, something doesn't seem right with that. But anyway, we got 5,000 liters of butter in storage currently. And I'm just kind of running through math in my head right now. Let's go back to the popcorn production. So for each month, we need what appears to be about 3,000 liters of butter. Actually, it'd be 1,000 liters of butter, because if we do, yeah, we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. I'm not sure how much this will take. If we go here and we go up to D, dry corn sells for 933 at the peak. Dry barley is at the peak right now. Dried wheat is at the peak. I'm not sure what production would use those. But if we look at the barley, 361, and we go down to dry barley, so we about double. 361 to 539. And if we go back to our productions here, if we go what we got currently set up at, so we lose just a little bit. Let's do some math here. 360, yeah, I should say 360 divided by 530 equals about a 68% increase in value. And then 135 to 150. So we're looking at a 90% capture rate. So yeah, I think it would be worth it to dry our corn and dry our wheat and barley, especially the corn. We're going to do the corn. Definitely going to do the corn. I want to buy the popcorn production because I like trying out the new production stuff. So let's grab a trailer. I don't care what trailer we grab. We can use the little John Deere. It's not going to hurt nothing. We got a pin hitch receiver there. We got a ball receiver there. So we're going to need... I think we'll drop the mixing wagon off of here. And let's drop in some corn and see what happens. Even if we make a wider swing at that, if I could drive straight. Oh, I'm hitting on the unload spout. Huh. So this crampy's not going to work well. I mean, we got it finally, but... Alright, let's grab some corn. I wish this would cycle through only what is in the silos instead of through everything that's not. While that's loading up, that's one thing I did not look to see is how much holding capacity this has. Okay, so it looks like we can drop in 150,000 liters. So, you know, every month we can bring stuff over. That's fine. We're just going to try this one out real quick right here. And we're going to go and make sure we turn it on. Okay, we got that turned selected. It's inactive. Let's go ahead and activate it. We can change the output mode to selling, distributing, or storing. We're just going to keep it on storing for now. Okay, and it's already starting to bring in some stuff. Let's go grab our milk trailer and let's go take some milk up to the dairy. And while we're up there, we'll take a look at the popcorn factory. Alright, the last corner here before we pull in. Let's go ahead and unstrap that trailer. All right, so our dairy production. I gotta take a look at something because the goat milk that I have put into this does not seem to be going down. I brought in 2,000 liters the last month, and I'm gonna go through the front door and talk to them. Okay, so we got goat milk bottle. Okay, it's running. That's fine. We got some goat milk cheese. That's fine. Okay, so it's activated, but it doesn't seem like it's producing very well. Okay, our goat milk, we got 3,520 liters in it. I was looking at this one down here. Well, let's see next month, see what that goes. I'm going to write this down. 3,520. Because we are definitely not full on our goat milk situation. We got our standard milk is going through just fine. But, you know, we just brought over 1,000 liters. Yeah, we'll get it figured out. And then let's find the popcorn factory, and that's up the big brick building up top. We'll just go ahead and park right here. I think that'll be fine. Okay, it takes $240,000 to buy it. So I think we can do a little something around here. I do know Jesse from the animal dealer. He does need some material for making silage, or TMR. Like I said the other day, he finally got his parts. Actually, a new piece of machinery, and they got it all built into their facility. So he's good to go now for making his own TMR to distribute amongst the counties. The materials he's running low on, so we can definitely supply him up with some silage, some straw, and some hay. We don't want to get rid of it all because we need to make stuff for ourselves. We definitely don't need the all of those silage bales. So oh, god damn it. Yeah, I love the traffic. I love having it on the map, but then I end up like that. Hate it, you know. But anyway, I think we're gonna grab a truckload of material, take it over to him, and man, that driver was bad. All right, there's a little cut there. Yeah, little bit of allergies, some late fall hay fever going on. Oh, something at the popcorn factory must have been setting my nose off. I don't know. That was I almost lost it there on the road. Not gonna lie, that kind of hurt. But yeah, we got that all taken care of, I guess. But anyway, we're gonna grab the semi and flatbed. The first thing we're gonna do is we're going to. We got that Flegel trailer. that pushes out the back. We can use that for loading up on pretty much anything on the farm, really. We'll use that for right now to unload into the feed trough here. We're only 14,000 shy of being full, but we'll use that. We're going to get a load going into the mixer, and yep, we're gonna open up the first pit because it is ready, and we're gonna get some silage going into the mixer. I'm still trying to figure out what kind of ratio I want. The 40-40 or 400-400 200 worked pretty good, but I think that was a bit too much straw. I'm thinking here, folks. I'm thinking. I love this guy, but then there's a part of me that, I think it's time to take Mr. 3650 out to pasture. If I can find a suitable bucket for the telehandler that'll be comparable to that guy. Let me do some research here, and I think it's time that we upgrade this to something a little better. I have an idea in mind, but like I said, for a telehandler, I think I'm looking at something a little different. But I need to find a comparable bucket so that we're not spending so much time loading up our mixing wagon system. So let me do some research here. Let me go into there we go. We got that. Let me go into the maintenance shop over here, and we'll come back when I find what I'm looking for. How's that sound? Alright, we'll be right back. Well, after much deliberation, you can see, and I swore I looked left, you can see that we're in the semi. Come on, car, get going. I don't want to get stuck. The semi with the flatbed trailer. We got ramps. So it would appear that we have purchased something. And instead of having them deliver it over to us, they let us know that currently their semi that's out that does all the delivery stuff is currently broke down, and they don't have a replacement at the moment. So here we are. Come on. I don't know what's going on with this semi, why it seems like it's struggling. So we were able to get a couple of things. So we get kind of straightened out here. So, yep, this is technically a telehandler. It's a mid-steer version. Yeah, this is a style I have not used yet. So we'll see if the articulated design is going to hurt us. The biggest thing with this is the weight. We do have the automatic pin hinge on the back with some controls for air, electrical, and stuff. So yeah, we should be able to get bells loaded up pretty easily with this. And we have this guy right here. which is a front attacher for our telehandler, which will allow us to attach to any front-loading pieces of equipment. So the bucket that we currently own, or the bell grapple. But I also want to try let's get a little something different here. I'm eyeballing this guy. I mean, I'm down on money right now. A triple hopper for, it's got 51,000 liter capacity on it, which is not a Super B, but it's also like, if I remember right, let's go up there. It's also not the price of a Super B either. It's this guy right here, the Distinction Triple Hopper, $75,000, and you know it's 25% off or so. It's not the Super B, but it's definitely bigger than what we got. So while we're here, let's go back to the telehandler tools. There was one thing that I did not grab. And let's see if we can find them. Lizard bell forks. Yeah, if they're going to do that in the shop, I don't know if I want them. It is for the telehandler. That's what I got, the adapter. I mean, really there's, I thought about this guy, but it seems like missing function telehandler shovel in L10N_xe.xml. That's directly from the mod. So I don't know what's going on with that. But yeah, that's that bell fork. I mean, it's $1,200. This guy here, we can set it up for a front loader or telehandler, which means we can adjust it at the shop. We can do tension belts on it. We can change the color, so we may purchase this for a little bit and see what we can do. My big thing is I want to be able to pick up multiple bells at a time. We can do the Alltech, which is pretty much the same as the Lizard. You can set up for telehandler, tension belts. Yeah, let's go ahead and we'll get this guy. My big thing is I want to be able to grab more than 2 bales at a time. The 3650 just, and that bell grapple just does not quite cut it, you know? So we got that. I still want to play with this guy. I still want to, and it could be just a shop issue. Let's buy that. And yeah, I think that'll be it for now. Well, I think I'd done spent enough. You know, I just want to take a look, see what the prices are. That guy, I think I would like to buy him sometime. But we really don't have any productions outside of our eggs and wool and goat milk. But yeah, I think we'll be all right without them. I think this guy, okay, this is a, there was one of these that had a longer reach. Apparently I don't have that mod installed. A longer reach on the forks, but yep, either way, regardless. Let's get some things loaded up here. This ought to be some good income. We'll meet you back at Jesse's. All right, here we go. $39,252. Yeah, which sounds about right for $120 a thousand. Okay. He should be pretty good now for the animals around the area. Go back home and make some TMR for ourselves. Alright, let's get this thing parked up. See if we can make the turn without hitting any trailers. Oh, bump. Alright. And oops. I think we're ready to make some TMR. We do have a fun little tool that we just got, so we're gonna go ahead and play with that. And like I said, I'm still trying to figure out what I want for bales, for amounts. I'm thinking like 450,000 of silage, 400,000 of hay, and then 150,000 of straw. So 400. Okay, let's do 150,000 divided by 9,000 per bale. So we need 16 bales of straw. So let's go ahead and come on over. And we don't need the partials, we need the fulls. Okay, we got our 16. Let's move this guy off to the side. That's kind of a partial there that we can throw in for something. So we'll need 50 of these. At 8,000, 50 times 8,000 equals, not 80, 50 times 8,000. It's 400,000. Okay. So we'll do a full grouping of that. And then we'll do another 25. So we got 3, 6, 9, 18, 36. So we got 40 bales. So we'll have to grab another 10 out of there. All right, so let's get to it. Oh, I gotta get my bucket off this guy. Sorry, little John Deere that could. 6,000 more liters of product. But otherwise, the mixing ratio is pretty spot on for what I like. 42, 42, 14. Now, if we do 6,000 liters of mineral feed, then I think we would have it. But I think for what we're trying to do right now, I think that this works out pretty well. Okay. So I think we're going to use the this guy right here. And we're going to get this loaded up. And we'll see if it works out correctly this time. TMR of 38,600. That is perfect. Because I had an incident the first time I used it, or actually be the second time I used that. I was trying to load up into my mixing wagon, and it gave me mineral feed. And I was like, what the heck? And it was nothing but mineral feed. And then when I started emptying it, left a pile of mineral feed, stopped, and then it was forage. So there was a big technical glitch with it. Alright, so I think we'll leave this right here. We'll even turn the engine off. So yeah, that worked out really well. We have a bunch that we could definitely use throughout the next few months. And I guess we better deal with that. We got, I don't want the wool, I wanted to see 615. Okay. Still undecided about the horses. Still undecided about the horses. I don't even know when the best price is to sell them, but regardless, I think they're a little too young for what we got to do. Okay, so these bales are going down. Next time we got to remember to give them a bale or two of hay first before we give them the rest of it as oats. I think we even have to ride these. Yep, we definitely have to ride them. We'll go ahead and get it down. We'll come on back. Alright, horses are taken care of again for the month of December. What else can we do? Let's just take a look at the contracts just to see if there's anything that we want to deal with. You know, some lowly cultivating, some low plow jobs. Nope. I think we are good to go. Let's double check the sheep to make sure they have enough food. 47 of 60,000 or 80,000, excuse me. Yep, and they got, it's all grass. The meadow is gone, so yep, we'll bring over some grass bales probably tomorrow. Maybe in February. We'll find out. These guys are good on straw. Milk is, you know, slowly growing. We took care of the slurry last month, so we'll be good. All right, let's stay warm for the rest of the month. Let's meet you back in January. Oh, wait, let's do one thing first. Yeah, I don't have enough money. It's only 32% off. I think we'll be alright. I'd almost rather get the Super B anyway, so. Alright, let's come on back to January. No more space at the barn is not what I look forward to every month. Especially when I wake up every month, do things, make sure to clear it out. I'm not looking forward to that. I think we're at the point where we need to get a separate barn for each of the different animals. Okay, we got 1,000, we got 1,000, we got $2,000. And I forgot to turn off the John Deere. I hope it's there we go. And the Case Puma is the same way. Okay, what do we got here? We got, you know, 4 bells left in here. Yeah, well, they've gone through a lot of TMR there. That's alright. It's good to keep it full. Okay, we got 9,000 liters of that. Let's go ahead and jump in the old Mack truck here. And let's take care of the milk. Excuse me, gentlemen. Workers coming through instead of you lollygaggers. All right. Okay, let's check on the dairy here. That's the wrong button I wanted. Okay, we got 21,000 liters of milk, so that means that we're slowing down on the milk production stuff. Same with the goat milk. We took 2,000 over last month. We had 3520 in storage, so we're using it, but not as fast as I'm hoping for. When was all the sell prices the best? Okay, we got the cultivatings. I'm not interested in those right now. Let's do milk bottled. Oh, today's the best month for the bottled milk. The goat bottled, best time, best month. And the price is $23.40 and dropping at the supermarket. And still going up. And then we got some cheese and some butter. Okay, we're not in the best month for the cheese. The butter we need to hold on to. The butter. There's the butter. Yeah, it's the best price. Popcorn production, we're definitely going to be taking it there for when we buy it. Alright, so let's go ahead and get some of the milks loaded up onto the trailer. Yes, sir. That's it. So that was $25,000 in product. And we made 27,000 plus altogether. It's not too bad. Now where am I going? Not here. I mean, we could stop at the cafe and get some food, but we ate breakfast at home. Okay, so what do we have left to do for today? We do need to get the okay, we got the tipper wagon or the pusher wagon set up with TMR. That's fine. We've got those bales. We've got all of this wool. Okay, let's go ahead and grab a tractor. We'll just take the weight off the little 3650 over here. We'll hook up to the red trailer. We'll get another, 40,000 liters of corn. Put that into the corn dryer. And I want to disconnect the weight. There we go. Get to unloading some corn, we're going to take a look to see how much capacity that corn dryer can hold. And then we'll have to see if we can put some dried corn somewhere. Okay, our production's here. We got the corn dryer. We can only hold 150,000 liters of dried corn. 150,000 liters total. That'll work for us, I think. Let's go ahead and back the camera view up. That was a little too close, I think. Okay, we will back up just a little bit. There we go. Okay, at least we can pull our materials out. So that's a good thing. Go ahead and get our dry corn. Okay, that works for us. Let's see if we can put it back into the silo. Or the grain bins. Alright, so we can just do this process for now until we can get enough money gathered up for the popcorn production. Let's take a look at eggs. What can we do with the eggs? Okay, we got the grain mill, so we should... Wrong button. What am I doing here? Okay, we got some barley. We got some wheat. Okay, the sorghum that we have, that's going to be chicken food. So let's start off with the barley. Because we'll take the barley, we'll take the oats, and the wheat, I believe. Barley, oats, and wheat. So we will take those over to the grain mill, and we'll get all of that stuff. We can store olives in here? I wouldn't store olives in here. Yeah, I mean, we'll just do the wheat since we're there. Either one. Doesn't matter. And we'll take it up to our grain mill, get the production going. We will... I don't know if we'll set the stuff to distribution. Because one of the things that we were thinking of was going to the bakery. Ooh. Milk, sugar, eggs, butter, strawberries, cake. So I think what we'll do is we'll just start making some bread flour. So we'll have to buy the bakery. I was thinking about doing that. Okay, the pizza production. All right, so that is the kind of the next thing that we're working on, I think. Ooh, tailor shop. The funny thing is, there's a tailor shop here, and we're sitting there making all sorts of wool, but there's no spinnery. No spinnery whatsoever. But the spinnery, in my opinion, is always too slow for converting wool over to fabric. But yeah, I think we're going to go ahead and we're going to, when we get into town, we'll take a look at the bakery. We'll see what we can do with those. But in the meantime, we're just going to start making flour. We do have a couple of fields also, another side note here, that we do need to plow. Ooh, why am I doing this with the slowest tractor I have on the face of the earth? I should have used a different semi-trailer, but it's whatever. Let me go grab the 8R, and I'll see you at the grain mill. All right, here we go. Let's go ahead and nope, inadvertently hit the wrong button. So the barley flour, we can hold 300,000 liters. Okay, and this produces 22 times 480. Okay, we're going to go ahead and activate that guy. And we'll go back. And we'll do this for the wheat and the... Well, we can't... Well, the oats is kind of... What do we got in storage again? We'll do it for the wheat. We got the sorghum for the chickens. Oats. Yeah, we'll just do it for the wheat and the barley for now. So yeah, we'll do this strip again, and we'll see you back here on the dump side. Alright, we're coming up again to the grain mill. Hit the brakes. While we're unloading, we'll go back into the production. We are dropping in wheat flour. And let's go ahead and activate that. Oh, really? So barley flour is, this is something, let's do some math here. Okay, so we're looking at 480 cycles per month, and it takes 22 flour. So we'll get 10,000 liters of flour a month out of the barley. Okay, 10,000 liters a month, or 10,560. And then if we do 2520 times 4, oops, 4, not 2, not 24, 10,080. So we'll get 20,000 liters every month of the different flours. Okay. Let's go ahead and activate that. Cool. Very cool. We can do corn flour as well. But I don't think there's a production. Okay, so if we go back to the grain mill, if we do corn flour, yep, okay. What production needs corn flour? This one's just dried corn. Taylor's. So corn flour, we're just going to have to sell outright. So if we buy the corn dryer, that's just up the road just a little bit. We can also do corn drying. It takes 50 propane though. So we're going to have to deliver propane to it. Yeah, that's weird that they have the grain mill set up with the finest corn flour. Where there's nothing that will take these, so it has to be sold outright. And let's just take a look, just out of curiosity. Corn, meal, cracked corn. No selling point for the corn gluten meal. The supermarket will take corn meal. Corn flour, supermarket. Okay, I mean, we do have a bunch of corn. You know, we got 85,000 liters left over. We're making... interesting. And then find the supermarket. Okay. So, yeah, right up there is the... let's just go ahead and head out. I want to see how much this corn dryer is. Where's the maintenance trigger point? There it is. So just take a look to see what the dryer does. And how much it sells for. $100,000. Well, considering we did $140,000 for our own personal corn dryer, and this one only does corn. Yeah, it is what it is. I don't know how much it holds, what the status is. Probably close to, 250, 500,000 liters, something like that. But anyway, we got what we need. All right, let's go ahead and we'll see you back at the house. All right, I think that is empty. We don't really need this anymore since we got the big mixer. So we're going to go ahead and get this thing sold at the shop, I think. See if somebody else needs it. We don't. Take it up there, get it repaired, get it repainted. Give it a good look over, and we'll see how much money we can get out of this thing. Alright, let's see what we can do here with this trailer. Okay, so there's no repair on it needed. Everything looks great. We've used it for 1.5 hours, basically. We'll touch up the paint on it. And then let's go ahead and 43,000. That ain't bad. That ain't bad at all. I mean, it's just something that we didn't need anymore, and we can't if we had multiple pins, mixing large batches of TMR, that's a thing. But when we got one pin, and when it takes us, 2 to 3 batches of mixing to get the pin full for just one pin, you can basically say that the mixer is not outputting a high enough amount to make it beneficial. Kind of the reason why we got the big mixer. One, to help Jesse out at the animal dealer when other counties need their TMR. But if we didn't buy that thing, we would have got the 45,000 liter or 48,000 liter, whatever the big one is, that we can pull behind, which would work just fine in our use case scenario. But we do plan on expanding the cattle operation. And I think this is all just animals that was on the farm when we started, so I don't remember buying any animals. So the productions are just increasing as we go. Because it came with 5 horses, and it came with some cattle, some sheep, and we just kind of let them go, We just let them do their thing, and right now our sheep production is getting out of hand. So one of the things I don't like, and I'm going to go on a little bit of a ramble here, and we'll just come up here where, right now everything's empty. We just took the wool out, took the milk out, nothing's been, and we did that first thing this morning, and boom, So, yeah, I mean, I got a pallet jack there. Let's go ahead and get these guys cleared out. And we got to sell these, I think it was in March. Oops. We'll spin that guy. And we'll put it back there. How much milk do we got in here? 179 liters. Okay, that's fine. I guess that's to be expected for that. But yeah, we're producing more wool than, and we are coming up to shearing time. And that was a goat walking by. But the trigger size of these barns, you know, especially if you're doing wool, this point is pretty small, you know? And that's the thing I don't like about these ones. Chickens as well. When you can't even make it through a day and you have to clear it out 2 or 3 times a day, then, okay, one, there should be an internal storage, you know, that you can make it through at least one day. I mean, you go to any other production, not on our farm because we don't have any productions, but, you know, the grain mill, for example. That'll hold all the stuff for a day. The dairy, same way, that'll hold all the stuff for a day. Why the goat milk goes into these canisters, I have no idea. That's fine. But you would think that, you know, that's got a cold storage room for the milk. You would think that you would need a cold storage room for this milk, you know? I don't know, it's just a little rant, you know. I come up here and at 9 o'clock, it goes, pop goes the weasel, and all of a sudden there's more stuff. So are we going to have to sit here and babysit this, you know? I love the fact that this is here for on the map, but at the same time, you know, it's at full capacity and we have to consistently clear it out. Because if we weren't over here and we didn't see that we had 2 full pallets of wool, you know. And that's why I want to separate the goats from the sheep. But anywho, we'll have to come back throughout the day for that just to make sure everything is going good. Still torn about the horses. This barn, I mean, okay, base food production's finally going down. Hay we got a little bit of. Why? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. But I think it's time. I think it's time we do something with this. I don't know. Let's run to the house. I gotta do some thinking here. I gotta make a few phone calls, see what we can do. Talk to Jesse. We'll get back to you here in a minute. Okay, I just got off the phone with Jesse. Told him about a situation that I have on the farm. And through our conversation, I told him that I'm looking to expand my sheep barn to something additional. Not bigger, but additional. I want to separate my sheep and goats. Right now, the wool production is kind of out of hand, you know. My milk, I would like to have a little bit more. And he said that he can have a crew come out. He's got just the right barn for us to set up a different location for either one of the animals. Now, I do want to come in here, and this is a rabbit trail. I just want to see what I have. That's right, I had pretty much even, 50-50. So, that'll work out for us. We'll be able to expand and stuff. But anyway, part of the conversation as well is I told him about our horses. Yes, I do love the horses. Yes, they're great, majestic animals. But personally, I think it's time that they find a better pasture, because I just don't have the remembrance to ride these monthly. Yeah, there's been 2 months where I have skipped that portion. And I was at even the very beginning, I was happy, but yet a little bit hesitant, I should say, with the horses. And that piqued his interest, because some of his contacts, believe it or not, are up in the Ozarks. And some of his TMR production did go into that area. And their tourist season is starting here in a couple of months. Around the March time frame. And they're looking for some new animals for their riding trails. And he hung up the phone, gave me a little bit, and called back and said that they would be willing to have these transported up there for their upcoming season. And they want to get the horses up there as soon as possible to get them acclimated to the location, the new handlers, and all the personnel up there, things like that. So I think now's about the best time for us to get these transported back to a place where they can get more devoted time than what we are able to give them, you know. So I'm going to run into town. I'm going to grab a trailer. And I need to come back and get the horses loaded up. And I'll see you when I'm back with the trailer to get the animals loaded up. Alright, we got this trailer here. Let's go ahead and just zoom on out. I haven't used this trailer before, so it's going to be a little bit of a learning curve to try to get the horses all gathered up. Okay, so we got the animal dialogue that we normally get. We go in here, and then there are no animals to move or sell. Okay, so we'll take that one, move to trailer. Okay. Okay, we got the 5 horses in here. And yeah, they are, 100% healthy, 100% fitness, cleanliness. We didn't brush them down today. Didn't ride them either. They're not quite in reproductive cycle. They're a few months away from that, but I think we're good. Let's go ahead and we'll get these fine animals up to Jesse. Yeah, the decision to move the animals is not a spur of the moment. It's been something that I've been thinking about for a long time. And yeah, I have shown them on the videos over the past, almost every time, every video we'll walk by them. An episode or 2 ago, we did do a writing session on the stream or on the video. But it's like I said from day one, it was one that I took on the horses with a little bit of hesitation, and I just feel that the way our farm is growing, that the horses deserve a better home than I'm willing to give them right now. So yeah, this is not a lighthearted, oh, let's just sell the horses, like I would do on a lot of other playthroughs. Let's sell all the pigs, or let's sell all the cattle, or or whatever it is. This is one that I gave him a good valiant effort, and even though I do enjoy going out there and writing them on the monthly basis, getting them in the videos every so often, it's just, to me, it's just not a good fit for how I see Alma, Missouri currently. So we're gonna get them to Jesse up here. I just want to make sure that we are going to the correct location. Let's go to the map. I swear there's a point back here. Why it didn't show up? The animal dealer right there. Okay, just making sure I'm in the right location. Yep. There we go. Okay. I think that is it for the horses. Well, I don't think. I know that is it for the horses on our current farm. Yep. So let's head on back and we'll see what else we can get lined up for today. All right, we are back. And we'll still keep the windmill here in case we need a water source for an upcoming future product. Yes, there is some things that I was trying to some things I want to do on Alma, Missouri that aren't on other productions or other maps. And that's some of the newer productions. We do have some straw there. We're probably going to end up using that for making TMR. And that was the one thing I didn't like about this map is it tells you that you can put 10,000 liters of straw in here, and it's like, where do you put the straw? I have no idea. I have absolutely no idea. We can sell our production for manure, or not production, our manure pit that has 0 manure in it because we can never get straw in there. So it's one of those goofy things that's like, it just didn't work out. And, you know, it's unfortunate that things like this occur where we get a map, we got something on there, and it may seem all fine and dandy, but it just doesn't work as intended or as a person envisions, you know? So we'll get this out of here. And I don't think there's any way to get the oats that we have in storage out. So it's a little bit of wastedness going on, but it is what it is. Just let those guys go there. We'll leave this here. And we're just going to stand here for a minute. And I think we're just going to wrap up the episode here. Yep. Nothing more to say on this. I will add, though, that I thank you all for coming in, for enjoying the content, for the likes, the subscribes, sharing. I know people have shared my videos. I thank you all for doing all of that. Let's continue to grow the channel. And in the month of February, we will have a new beginning to this section of property right here. And until then, we'll catch you later. Bye, everybody. Hey, is this thing on? You didn't think I was going to end the episode like that, did you? Yep. I'm currently on a different farm here. Just letting some AI work go. This map is Louisiana. Some modifications done to this one. Just like some things are happening on Alma, Missouri. First and foremost, I am waiting for an update to come to that map. It is, from last I heard, at Giants for testing. So, I am expecting that update to happen within the next week or so. And when that update happens, there's going to be some changes. One of the things that I was looking at, and there was a huge change log that was dropped, and another fellow YouTuber called DJ Goham was out there talking about it, went through all the different details. There's some field resizes, some things with productions. There was a whole bunch of stuff. In a roundabout way, when that update happens, a new game save is going to be needed to be implemented if you want to implement some of the changes. So, we're waiting for that to happen. The second thing that needs to be addressed is when this happens, and I'm not sure what the time frame is. Nope, I haven't seen anything. I've been anxiously waiting for the update. But it is also coinciding with some family adventures that are happening for myself during the month of August. So you could say we left it on a cliffhanger. The family adventures I have will take up a lot of my time. So the recordings, the editings that I have going on currently for Alma, Missouri, they're going to go on hiatus until things around me slow down. Expecting to be back on in September. Just like basically Alma, Missouri is at the end of year 2, you know. It was kind of a fitting spot. Give a little bit longer of an episode, end on that little horse selling as a kind of a cliffhanger on what's happening on the farm. Just so that, 1, I can recharge a little bit. 2, I need that recharge in order to do things that are happening around me. And number 3, it gives me time to rebuild the farm on the new save. So, with that, I still want to thank you all for coming in. Hit that like button, subscribe, all those things. Join the live streams as they come around this week, and for the future, I will continue to be live on Wednesday through Saturday, and depending on what happens on Sundays as well. But I will let you know in those live streams what's going on. If I need to take a break from those for a little bit with the things that are going on, that's where the notification will be. I'll also post on the channel's post section what's going on, when we're expected to be back to full production of producing videos for Alma, Missouri. So be on the lookout for all of those little updates that happen. And until then, we'll catch you later. Bye, everybody.